Art styles. Hi, hello, I'm Cocoa, and welcome to my TV show. Just for starters, this isn't a video on how to find your art style, as I'm currently standing on the same grounds as you. There's a ton of great videos by amazing artists that cover this topic from a standpoint of helping you out with tips. I encourage you to watch some of those, if you are searching for something of the sort. This video, however, is more of just a little rant from me about my own frustrations with finding an art style. So maybe if you feel the same as me, you'll see you're not alone. By this time, I've probably changed my art style about 10 times this year. Maybe more, maybe less. But if you follow me on my social media, especially on Tumblr, which is more personal to me, you've noticed this. And I feel like it sounds a bit dumb to announce it like this, but I'm afraid I've changed it yet again. I'm not really sure if changed is the right word. I used to call it evolve, as during our times as artists, naturally our art styles are always evolving. However, I think I've strayed away from that path of natural evolution that grows with you as you go. And now I find myself on the tall grass instead of where I'm supposed to walk. So no, this once my art style hasn't evolved, but I don't want to say it changed either. Because where I currently stand, on this tall grass that doesn't really let me see much ahead, I'm trapped on this sort of cycle, in which I don't want to change my art style, but start all over again. A new wallet, a new one if you will. Because I've come to notice, each and every time I find an artist or a piece of media of any kind that really clicks with me, my brain instantly goes, wait, what would things look like if I did it more like them? Sometimes it's technique, others it's the use of color, or maybe even shape language. So I go on and draw with bolder colors. I feel super inspired again, like I finally found myself. Then I find a reference where they use softer colors, or a totally different form of line art. And suddenly my entire line of art, not pun intended, each piece I've ever done feels wrong. Because for some reason I'm convinced that this new thing is instead what I was missing. So the cycle continues. It's like my art style and identity as an artist has the object permanence of a blob of Play-Doh. For a few years now, I always thought it was just part of the process. This path of reinvention after reinvention that supposedly everyone has to go through. That I just hadn't found that thing yet. That I just had to continue this way. Because somewhere out there waits the perfect combination of colors and line art and values that will finally feel mine. But after so many times in which I've created a new way, felt inspired, only to later feel like all my work has been for nothing the moment I find something new, I've come to a kind of terrifying idea. What happens if I never find something that feels mine? What then? Do I just accept that I'll be forever walking the same steps over and over? Meanwhile, social media makes me believe that everyone else just figured it out? How to stick with one thing? Does the fact that I'm always changing make me any less? How do I cope with the fact that I will always look behind and feel my art looks wrong? Because I've already changed perspectives once more. Honestly, I don't really have an answer to any of those. But it got me to think a bit. What really makes me want to change it all? And why does it have to feel so important? So final? I thought about it for a while. Maybe it's admiration of the technique, the flow. However, I finally landed on one thing, and it's actually excitement. The excitement of finding something new, of looking through the eyes of someone else. Because, of course, drawing or creating in general feels more magical the moment I'm reminded that each artist lets me see how there are 1,000 different ways to draw the exact same thing. How my OC can look totally different on the eyes of another person. It feels new, strange, different, exciting. Because even if it's probably the source of many of my art-related frustrations for a long time now, I think it's one of those things that makes art beautiful, how infinite its range is. So, of course, I want to try this new thing. this way of coloring, this way of line art, this brush, this rendering. Each one a new door that opens upon me on my search, this opportunity to find what it's supposed to be, my art style. I'm sure I'm not alone on this feeling. Of course, nobody's experience is the same as another, but I'm sure many artists have gone through this door-to-door endeavor, or at least shared the sentiment. Nowadays, it's easier than ever to get stuck on this loop, or fall to it, if you haven't before. We spend hours and hours each day scrolling social media. Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram, wherever, feeding us new perspectives, which on one side might be great, but on another, within 5 minutes, you can feel like suddenly you've spent all your time approaching art the wrong way. And it's not because your art is bad. It isn't, and you know it. It's because this new way looks so exciting to do. So you start over. I start over. Again and again. And I know that this very same artist, they have had to put years of endless work to get to where they are. And probably they themselves are still evolving within their own work. Yet I keep feeling so alone, so lost. And it's funny, because why do I feel lost at the idea of wanting to learn, to experiment? Isn't that exactly how we are supposed to feel about art? Curious, interested, excited? That's how we felt as kids each time we picked up a pencil. Because we had no concept of having to be consistent. That paper in front of us could be a whole world. And this isn't to say that if you're someone with a very defined art style, you're wrong. Not at all. Part of art is what I said before. It's infinite. So if you have a defined art style and like that, I'm glad. Here, I'm just speaking from my experience. That feeling of endless possibilities, of something new, that's what made me start drawing in the first place. That's what I keep chasing. Not the change of art style, that's just a side effect. The core is this. I want to feel inspired about it. I want to feel inspired by how others view the world. I want to attempt a new way of thinking anatomy. I want to paint like these other people. I don't want to lose that. What I want to lose is the feeling that an art style is something final, a goal, somewhere you have to arrive. Nowadays, the algorithm constantly shapes us into boxes, into having to have a clean and perfected identity as artists, so we succeed. We are rewarded by staying within known lines, within our comfort zone, which, if you ask me, isn't comforting anymore. Having to appeal to a corporate and mysterious machine has given me a sense of doubt and fear about experimenting that as a child I never had. Because this way of thinking art, this algorithm adjacent sense of artistry, led to that somewhere between inspiration and a new idea. What once was, I can't wait to try this, became, does this new thing make all I did before wrong? One is wonder, the other is doubt. But they are so similar that somewhere in between I lost track of where I was going, and confused one for another. After all, both made me want to rework what I was doing. Both made me want to open a new sketchbook, a new digital canvas, but only one makes me want to have my hands covered in paint with no real idea of what I'm doing, besides just enjoying the process. Learning isn't replacement, it's addition. Although obviously hearing that won't instantly rewire my brain, it's good to know. But why does it always feel like I have to throw everything away and start over? I think it's because I've convinced myself that somewhere out there is the final version of my art. Going back to my point about social media, I think we have become convinced that out there's a final version of what we create. Like there's a finish line we have to cross. Because honestly, how Instagram, Pinterest, and all show it to us, it seems like everyone already got there. But they haven't. And neither do I. Because like it or not, even the most experienced of artists keep on changing. Maybe in the slightest of things. But they do. Even if we don't notice. So, if I no longer have to keep walking to a finish line that was never there to begin with, what do I do? Maybe, just maybe, what I have to do is take good care of this excitement I feel upon a new exploration. Because as an artist, it's quite easy to take that for granted and end up disillusioned by art. So, what happens if instead of asking myself, how do I stop changing? I start asking myself, how do I stay excited without making each new inspiration a sudden unforced start? Right now, I'm still looking for that answer, so I don't have a real resolution for you. But I hope listening to my rant might have helped you. It's definitely helped me, because right now, I'm a little less scared or ashamed of wanting to start over, or maybe just change a few things. Maybe with time, between brushstrokes, finished pieces, and splashes of paint that I accidentally dropped over, I will stop caring that much about my style. If I need to have one at all, and I will choose whether to start over or not, just because I want to.